You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. We will not be silenced. Ugh. Yes, bad news, valuable viewers. Harry's wife will not be silenced. After all, she must be heard. She must exercise her voice. She thinks it's because she's showing that she's a spirited individual who will not be silenced, that will not be cowed into submission by the awful media. Whereas, of course, it's just her narcissism harnessing her sense of entitlement to keep on flapping her gums and boring us all into a catatonic state. As a consequence of the failure of the stunt that was the car chase, with most of the world recognising that it was a load of baloney, exaggerated and staged, Harry's wife faced some serious backlash. It has caused so many people to think that's beyond the pale, going so far as to do that. Not only is treating the general public as fools for thinking that they would believe what was going on, but also the ham-fisted way that it was done means that even a 5-year-old who perhaps watched one episode of Columbo would be able to work out that it was a pile of steaming shit that she had engaged in. And instead, people have responded unfavourably to it. As I've explained elsewhere, rather than Harry's wife think, whoops, buggered that one up, better lie low for a bit, her narcissism compels her to go, but it did happen like that, because she honestly believes that it did, because her narcissism creates that narrative that that's the way that it occurred. It has rewritten history. Through her lens, it was a traumatic, near-catastrophic, near-colliding, relentless pursuit by hordes of angry paparazzi. Remember, Harry's wife exists within a film of her own making. She almost has a soundtrack with everything that she does. As she walks into the kitchen in Monty Shit Show to open the fridge, there's a low breathing beat, ominous, suggesting that something monumental and exciting, building the suspense as she brings forth an avocado. Dun, 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 dun. And she carries the avocado over to the kitchen countertop. The beat builds. She takes out a knife. And she starts to chop the avocado. Dun, 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 dun. As she makes her avocado toast, a soundtrack plays. She imagines that she's in a movie of her life, that everything that she does ought to be recorded, ought to be consigned to the history books, that what she does is so monumentally different, unique and pioneering, that it merits being recorded. This is why so much of what she does is recorded, is photographed, that she feels compelled to tell us about all the mundanities of her life, which is a very boring one. But alongside all of that, she operates as if she is in a film because she truly thinks that she is fascinating and interesting. And the consequence of that is that that's her default setting, that she believes that she's in this film, that she believes that everything that she does is fascinating and interesting, and her narcissism compels her, through a lack of boundary recognition and a sense of entitlement, to keep sharing it. And therefore it layers drama and exaggeration. So she goes to the bathroom to blow her nose using some tissue paper. It might as well have been Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark at the beginning, where he tries to get the golden idol and then he has to dodge all of the traps, etc. In her mind, that's what's going on. The mundane becomes exciting. The straightforward becomes complex and drama-filled. So a simple, challenging situation where a few paparazzi were wandering about becomes a near-catastrophic, near-colliding, relentless pursuit by hordes of angry paparazzi because her narcissism paints it that way, and then she feels that she has to tell the world because that's what her narcissism wants her to do. Her narcissism wants her to tell the world in order to get that control and fuel, etc. And thus, having monumentally cocked up with this patently exaggerated car chase, she faces the backlash, and then thereafter, has engaged in attempting to nullify the threat to control with repeated puff pieces. And we've heard what has been stated in Us Weekly in terms of saying that she's shocked that nobody believes her. But then this has then flourished like some kind of virus, being picked up in many publications, including Elle, with an article by Alyssa Bailey which states, Harry's wife is reportedly shocked and hurt by public reaction to car chase. US Weekly published a report detailing how she and Harry feel about the public response to their car chase, along with all the people and outlets casting doubt on their story. They are shocked by it, the source said. They insist their account of the car chase was absolutely not exaggerated, and for people to say otherwise is so hurtful and out of line. But then there's more. They also refuse to let the public treatment of them scare them into silence, the source explained. So you lot out there, you're all nasty buggers. You're all horrible people attempting to scare them into silence, you utter rapscallions. It continued, as far as staying out of sight and being scared to show their faces, that's not going to happen. This has just strengthened their resolve to keep standing up for themselves and speaking out when they feel wronged. Yes, the level of delusion is that strong. Her narcissism does not let her see that she's a liar. It does not let her see that she revises history. It does not let her see that she exaggerated what has gone on. And instead, it tells her, you speak for the truth. You speak your truth. Where you feel wronged, you must stand up and speak out. For you are St. Harry's wife. You represent standing up for the truth. You stand up for yourself, and you will not be beaten down by those awful members of the public. This, of course, is unfortunate, as it means that Harry's wife will keep flapping her gums and unfortunately sharing with us the minutiae of her tedious life. It also is demonstrative of the victim mentality that she has, namely, I feel wronged when she actually isn't. That's the subconscious perception of threats to control. Also combined with that sense of entitlement that because I feel wrong, I'm allowed to speak out. And if you try and say anything to the contrary, you're silencing me. Whereas any level-headed individual would say, you haven't been wronged, you silly tart. Shut up, sit down, and fuck off. But she won't. Because anything along those lines, her narcissism interprets as a threat to control and basically whispers in her ear, they're trying to silence you. They're trying to suggest that you should stay out of sight. That you should be scared to show your face. That you need to have your resolve strengthened, to stand up for yourselves and speak out when you feel wronged. And Harry's wife thinks, absolutely right. I will stand up for myself because I feel wronged. Completely missing the point and causing more people to groan once again at her self-entitled behaviour. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.